So this lesson we're going to be covering how we can manipulate arrays. So using the push, unshift, pop, shift in order to update and set the values of the arrays, removing from the front and end. Also how we can assign values using the index value for the array, and it will automatically add items into the array. And then how Slice works, the different arguments that we can pass into Slice, and the differences between Slice and Splice, and the values and the results that get returned for each one of those. Create a new file, and within that file, let's create the array, and we're going to be updating the values that are contained within the array. So we'll start with some just numeric values in the array, and we'll output the array into the console, so the array 1. And that gives us these values that are within the array. So if we want to add to the end of the array, we can use the push method. So adding in a new value to the end of array 1, and that uses push. So this is adding to the end of the array. So now we've got a new value at the end of the array. I'm going to actually output these values onto the page. So let's go ahead and we're going to create our main element. So using the document, create element, and then prepend it to the page. And as we loop through the contents of the array, we can use for each to loop through each one of the elements, and then we can get the index value of each one of those items that are within the array, and we'll output them into the web page. So within the loop, we'll create an element, and this is going to be the element that's going to contain the value. So using the create element, and this can also be a div that's added to the page. And as we loop through, we can set the text, or we do the inner HTML of the element, and set a value for the inner HTML. So that will just be the value of the element. And we can use the index as well, so representing the index value. And then the value is going to be equal to whatever we've got for the value. So let's update this to be value. So looping through, and then we want to also take the main and append the element to the main element as we loop through. So that outputs it on the page, and we've got a new item at the end. Let's also remove, so we can remove items, so we can add an item to the start as well. So array 1, and using the unshift method, that allows us to add a value to the start. So that puts a value there in the beginning of the array. I'll make this slightly bigger so it's a little bit easier to see. We can also remove items from the array. So using the shift and the pop. So shift will remove the item from the beginning of the array. So array shift is going to simply remove out whatever that first item is. So that removed out the first item. And this also has a callback. So adding in a value for the callback items, and I'll just set this as val1. So this is going to retain a value that we can also output, and if we want, we can create a holding array. So this is just going to be a blank holder array, and then as we remove items, we'll add them into the array. So setting up this value, and then within the holder array, let's add in using push, adding in the new value that was returned back. And then we'll loop through that holder array, and we'll output it on the page. So within the holder, and we'll also just create an element here quickly between the two. And we can do this actually within a function. It's going to be a little bit easier. So creating a function, call it adder. It's just going to take in the HTML that we want to add. And then using append child, we'll return back that full element. And now we can just update this and make it a little bit shorter and easier to read. So passing in the value that we want to add to the page, we can get rid of the rest of that code. And whenever we want to add some HTML to the page, we can do that really easily. So select the adder function, or the adder statement, and that will add it to the page. And just update this to be the HTML that's being sent in. So also for adder, so these are the values that were removed. and that's going to be contained within the holder array. So just list out that these are the ones that are removed. I'll make it slightly smaller. And that was removed using the shift. There's also, if you want to remove it from shift removes it from the first item, from the start. You can use pop to remove it from the end. So array pop. And we don't even need to set a variable value. We can do this as one statement like this, and that will remove out the last item from the array. And this gives us the ability to manipulate the array. We can also convert the array into a string as well. So if we wanted to, we could get a string value of the array. So if we were to have the array and we just output the current string value of the array into the page, it's going to output it this way. So we're still able to see it. I'm going to put a heading there. I'll update these headings to be, actually let's set them to be H3s. So this is going to be a string of the array. And it actually outputs within the web page fine. So it sees it as a normal string. But in order to make it proper to convert it into an actual string, then we would need to use the toString method. So this toString method allows us to convert it into a string format. So now it's an actual string, but the output is going to be the same. And the only difference is if you add it into the console, you're going to see it differently when it's set as a string. And of course, once it's a string, it can no longer be manipulated. There's also the join, which allows us to convert an array into a string. So let's set that, and we'll do this as string to string method. And then this is going to be the string join method. And the join actually is going to allow us to set and have a value between them. So if we just do a join, it's going to just join it as a string. So it's not going to have any separators, but we can also be specific on the separator that we want to use. So by default, if we don't specify one, it just uses the comma. If we do specify, then that gives us more flexibility on what we're having as the separators. So in this case, we're using the star as the separator. Add in whatever type of separator that you want. So in this case, it's doing a space and the 2 stars as the separator. When we're assigning values to the array, so we can take the array, and we know with the index value, we can reassign a new value. So if we want to change 1 to 100, we could do that as well for the arrays. And if we want to create a for loop, so creating a for loop, I'll add a bunch of items, and you can also use the length property in order to do this. So you can use either one. It is suggested that you do use push to add values to the end, but this is also another way that you can do this. So as you loop through, we want to assign a new value for array 1, and we're going to use the array 1 length as the index value. And the value that we're going to be assigning to it, so it's going to be a value of I plus 4, so that we can keep and increment. And actually it should be I plus 5 because I is starting at 0. So that's going to give us an incrementing values there, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9. So it allows us to add additional values. So this is just another way, and we're just calculating the index value that we want to add using the length property in order to do that. You can also remove out a portion of the array. So using Splice allows you to remove a portion of array, move it into a new array. So instead of adding it to, we'll create the holder array, and then we'll add it into that holder array, the returned values of it. So let's go ahead and we'll do a slice. So now that we've got more values within the array, we'll take the array and slice. So let's slice at index value 4, and we'll see what the results are. And this, right now, we'll just set it up as a separate array, and then we'll add it into the holder with the concat, and we'll console log out the result that we have for the array 2. So array 2 is going to return back the sliced results of the current array. So that's starting at position index number 4. That has a value of 5 and going all the way to the end, because we're not adding in an end for the slice. So it's simply creating a separate copy, a new copy of the slice, and wherever the start and end, if the end is not included, then it starts it at the start and then just moves it right to the end of the array. You can also specify which part of the array that you want to slice. So I'm going to output the values of the slice values. We'll be using array 2. So there's our slice values, and it creates a new array. So we've got different index values as we loop through them. You can also specify an end to the slice. So if we want to start at 4 and end at index value number 6, that's just going to return back the 2 results because it doesn't include index number 6. So we start at position number 4, index 4, we get index 5, but we don't include index 6 because it ends at index 6. So you can set an ending value for the slice as well. If you want, you can also use a negative value for the slice. So I'll show you how that works. And when we do a negative value, so that's going to be removing from the end of the array. So if we want to get the last 3 items in the array, we can use a slice negative 3. So at this point, it's returning back the 7, 8, 9, because those are the array values. You can use the negative alongside a starting value. So if we set a negative value, and if we have a starting value of 4 for the index, what do you think the results here are going to be? What do you think is going to get returned back? And in this case, number 14 is returning back just 2 items here within 14 for array 4. And the reason for that is that when we look at the array, we're starting at index 4. So what's happening is it's actually returning back a negative 3 off of the length of the 4, and that's with the index number of 4. So starting at 4, so we end up having a length of 5 items with a 0 base, and that's where we get the 5 minus 3. If we were to change this to minus 1, the results would be that we get 4 items being returned back, and that's this line here that we're outputting for the array 4. And the reason that we get 4 items is because the index value of 4 represents 5 items. If we subtract 1 from there, then we get a result of 4 value. And same thing if we change this to 2, that's going to return back 3 values within the array. So I don't recommend that you do use the negative if you are using a starting value, but it is something that is optional in order to use to return back those values. There's also the Splice prototype, which changes the contents of an array by removing or replacing existing items. So this changes the actual array as opposed to Slice, creating a new version of the array. So try using the Slice, and we'll set up having a value of array 5 and using the Splice off of the array. So it's the splice, and this is going to require a parameter. We can set the start, and there's also delete count, and we can add in additional items as well. So let's just start with the start count for the splice and see what gets returned back within the console, outputting the array 5 into the console in line 17. So now we've spliced the array, and we see that that initial array now has changed. So it actually changes the array in place, and it's actually splitting up the array. So it's no longer just taking a piece of it and creating a new array. It's making a splice and breaking it apart. You can also add in a delete value. So this is the number of items that you want to delete. So the delete count is an integer indicating the number of elements you want to remove from the start of the array. So if we were to do a splice, and I'll get rid of the other console message here at the end so that we have whatever the last one is that we're using will be the last value that's being displayed within the console. So there's our spliced content. There's our current array for array 1. And let's add in a delete count for that. So set a delete count of 2. So what happened is that this value, so we ended up getting the delete count of 2, and we ended up removing out a couple items from the array, and those had the values of 5 and 6. So starting at index value of 4, we removed out the value which was 5 and 6. It got returned back, and we created a new array from those values. So that allowed us to remove items out. We can also add items into the array. So this is just comma separated values. So if we want to add in new values, and I'll add in the values of 10, 11, and 12. So what happened now is that we removed out the 5 and 6 and added in the 10, 11, and 12 at index position 4. So these can also be string values, and you just comma separate them to add in the new values. You can add in as many values as you want, and it's always going to just return back the ones that were removed. So within the return back of array 5, we're going to have always those numbers that were removed. This one manipulates the array in place, whereas the slice manipulates and gets the content from the array without touching the original array and changing it. So go ahead and try out the various methods to manipulate the array content. So you're going to be ready to move on to the next lesson.